And so I think people have been surprised by what it is. And then they've also shared their stories with me. So everybody some piece of it is relatable. People share that piece of the story. And it's a nice way to connect with people. Yeah.
When you look back at your career here, it stands out above.
Oh, what do you think?
Well, you won several championships.
Yeah, all the championships are amazing. To be honest, probably the 2011 championship because of all that had gone on prior, and there were so many bad years. And there were tough times too then with David and with our team being bad. And so it felt like redemption. It felt
surprising thing you learned about yourself?
I didn't learn anything new about myself because I'd been through so much therapy in my life. So I had done all that work. What was surprising was hearing how other people view you or what other people say, because Ryan Berman, who wrote the book with me, did dozens and dozens of hours of interviews with Mike McGee and Omar and my mom and my dad and my sister and people in my life. And so you don't often know how people feel about you or what they have to say about you. But then I was able to read part of the book and see how people remembered things or what they said in certain moments. So that part of it was really surprising.
Háblanos de el libro el que acabas de sacar. ¿Cómo fue esta travesía de escribir tus memorias?
Para mí fue divertido el proceso. También fue difícil a veces, pero es una manera de compartir mi historia, de dar mi historia a gente, y soy orgulloso en lo que hicimos con el libro.
¿Cuál es el mayor mensaje que consideras que has plasmado en tu libro?
Hay muchos. Para mí, uno de los más importantes fue la historia con mi papá. Empezamos difícil porque nos salió a nuestra familia desde 2 años, cuando tenía 2 años. Y después de 25 años, yo ¿cómo se dice? Forgive.
Perdonar.
Perdonar. Yo le perdoné. Y eso cambió mi vida y cambió su vida. Y por eso esa parte en este momento es la más fuerte para mí también, porque mi papá se murió en diciembre y por eso es algo muy importante para mí.
And I got a two-parter for you about coaching. Can you see yourself coaching again? Is that one of the things on your, that's something I need to do list?
Not on a need to do list, no. Potentially when my kids are older. My passion, you may have heard me talk about this recently, my passion right now is in fixing youth soccer, which I think then will actually fix soccer in this country.
You talk to Greg about this at all?
Greg.
Manning?
Not yet.
You might get a conversation with him.
Yeah.
I think that might.
I mean, it's interesting how many people, look, we all complain about it, and we all have stories, and we all have a lot of horror stories, including me with my own children, right? And so everybody has a story. The amount of messages I've received are insane, just from casually putting it out there. Everybody has a horror story around youth soccer or youth sports, and it's a mess, and it's a disaster.
Have you seen what Carl Morrison's doing with his stuff as well?
I have.
The Street FC.
Yeah, and there are lots of ways. That's okay. There are lots of ways to combat this, but the simplest way is we need to give sports back to the children. It's been stolen from them. The parents have taken it away, the coaches have, the clubs are a disaster. and the kids are the ones suffering, and it's not okay.
Second part of mine was, you mentioned 2011, and we can go to 2012 and 2014, and one of the commonalities that it's Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Bruce win in D.C. We saw what Bruce did in New England, although it was regular season. We see what Bruce is doing now in San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
What makes him different?
He's an incredible human being. He's an incredible manager of people. And I was talking to Mike McGee about this today. We were riding our bikes on the Strand, and he made it enjoyable to come in every day. And talking to modern players, it is so much more a job than it is enjoyable. And I get that piece of it, and it was a job for all of us at times. But we genuinely enjoyed coming in every day and being around each other. And that's because we had a leader who
Cada vez que vuelves a este
campeonatos, claro que sí, pero cada vez que regrese me siento más cerca. Con cada vez que me siento más cerca. No sé por qué, pero el club también ha hecho muy buen trabajo en los últimos 5 años en incluirnos en todo lo que está pasando. Habían algunos años cuando no era así tanto, y ahora mucho mejor, y todos nosotros sentimos una gran parte de la historia, claro, del club, pero además del momento presente.
Landon, ¿cómo ves la selección de Estados Unidos que acaba de jugar en esta fecha FIFA de cara al Mundial? Van a jugar aquí en Los Ángeles. ¿Crees que pueden hacer un buen papel por lo mostrado hasta ahora?
Ojalá, espero que sí. Claro que sí, los últimos 2 partidos difíciles, pero todos nosotros estamos esperando algo especial para el deporte que yo amo, para el país que amo. Esperamos que hacen un muy buen trabajo. Ojalá.
El trabajo que está haciendo Mauricio Pochettino con esa selección de Estados Unidos, ¿cuál es tu percepción sobre lo que
Muy
está
bien,
haciendo?
sí.
Landon, mencionaste que para esta etapa, para este momento de tu carrera, quieres enfocarte en ayudar a los niños y devolverle el fútbol a los niños y que mejore ese proceso del sistema juvenil en Estados Unidos. ¿Qué tanto el Mundial cuando es en casa, porque lo vimos en el 94, verdaderamente puede ser un parteaguas para eso?
Sí, claro que sí. Mi primer partido en mi vida fue en 94, Rumania-Argentina, en el Rose Bowl. Y me impactó tanto ese partido. A tu primera parte, tenemos un gran problema en nuestro país. Tal vez en otros países también, pero no sé. En nuestro país, no solamente con fútbol, pero además otros deportes también. Los parentes, los entrenadores, los clubes han robado los niños de sus partidos, de su diversión, de su joy. Y yo lo he visto con mis hijos, con otros niños, con otra gente. Es muy malo, y también no está funcionando bien lo que hacemos, porque nuestro equipo nacional no es mejor que 24, 28 años en el pasado. Pues no está funcionando, algo tiene que cambiar.
De tantos mensajes que tu papá te dio consejos, ¿cuál fue el que más te quedó grabado?
Había muchos. Pues no sé de palabras, pero algunos de ustedes saben, para muchos años estaba ahí por la cancha tomando fotos, y a él fue un pasión estar en la cancha tomando fotos, pero además con su hijo jugando. Pues es una memoria para todos nosotros que fue muy lindo.
Your mission in youth soccer Is it mostly about the experience for the children, or
Yeah.
are you also interested in the development of talent for higher
Oh.
levels?
Well, the irony is that one leads to the other. And look, I'm a perfect example. Clint Dempsey's a perfect. We didn't have structured, organized soccer. We didn't until I was 15. I only trained once a week, organized. And he and I are two of the better players who have ever played, right? So something went awry somewhere, and it's not a secret, but the clubs have just stolen the game from the kids, and it's about money, and it's about having power, and it's about the clubs, and it's not about the children, and it's also not working. Look at our teams and our national teams, and it's just not working.
It seems to be just the emphasis that they put on specific things within the game, that they aren't necessarily emphasizing the things that are going to make better players and make for better teams.
Scott, I watch my kids go to practice, and they're working on things that pros work on, and they're 8 years old, and I think to myself, they can learn that when they're 16. They need to be learning how to trap a ball properly, not how to tactically conquer a game the way Man City does. It makes
Do you
no
think
sense.
that's a problem in modern day football a little bit too? How
Probably.
players are becoming a little bit more robotic.
Okay.
I'm thinking about this with the Premier League team.
Yeah, and that's why I wonder if it's also in other countries. I don't know, but you see players, modern players, lack of creativity. You see lack of decision making because they're told at 6 years old. You listen at a sideline, the coach is telling every player what to do with the ball every time they get it. So now players grow up and they can't make decisions on their own. It was used to be joysticked, right? And so, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it feels that way. Just to switch gears a little bit, now you're in the media.
Don't remind me.
How do you
One of you.
how do you feel about being in the media? You were criticised as a player, and you've been very vocal about this US men's national team, and I think you've earned the right to do that. Some people react to it differently, but how are you finding your feet as a media person?
I don't consider myself a media person, but the reality is I am.
Ah.
Right, I know. It's,
Different landscape.
I don't want to admit it, I think. We're reluctant to admit
You'll
it.
get there eventually.
No, I enjoy speaking about the game that I know pretty well. And I enjoy sharing it with people. I love it on the Fox broadcast. I love doing it. I love doing it on our podcast with Tim. I am never personal. I don't ever respond to things people say. I give my opinion on what I see in and around the game. And so I can look myself in the mirror at night content knowing that I'm not one of the people who are just spewing garbage just to spew it. I do it in an honest way. I don't, when the teams are good and doing well, I praise them. And when I see something that I think is not good, I'm okay saying it, so I'm at peace.
Are you? What do you think the US's real chances are this summer?
Of what?
World Cup. What's respectable?
It's reasonable.
Respectable. What I've learned in World Cups, having played in 3 of them, is I focus less on the outcome and I focus more on the performance. And so, in 2002, we got to the quarterfinals. We lost our 3rd game to Poland, and we would have been kicked out of the tournament, but for South Korea beating Portugal. So people remember that as our greatest ever, and it was on the men's side, the greatest ever tournament we had. We could have been knocked out of the tournament. It wasn't even in our control. So I focus on the performances, and any sort of deep run into the tournament would be incredible for our team. Any sort of deep run. Alternatively, or hopefully in addition to, some amazing moments that people grab onto would be really, really special. So,
Do you think we win a World Cup in your lifetime?
that's a big question. Not if we don't fix youth soccer. So yes, because we are going to fix it.
Sobre
Yes.
el trabajo que ha realizado Mauricio Pochettino con la selección de Estados Unidos, ¿qué consideras tú que son esos aspectos que deben de afinar de cara al Mundial? La selección. ¿Qué aspectos debería de mejorar la selección o de tener en cuenta para hacer un excelente trabajo en la carrera?
No entiendo el acento. ¿Qué aspectos tienen que mejorar? Lo que ha dicho Mauricio, en mi opinión, es correcto. Él quiere jugadores que van a pelear por la camisa y por su país. Es un grupo muy talentoso, muy talentoso. Y si juegan así, con ganas de representar su país, mucho es posible de ese grupo. Y todos nosotros sabemos eso, Mauricio sabe eso, y esperamos que el equipo juegue así.
Landon, you've talked a lot and we've heard here your passion for youth soccer. Do you ever think of maybe in the future parlaying that into maybe like a leadership within U.S. soccer to really be able to be at the forefront of change? Or is that something maybe you're thinking about?
I wouldn't rule it out, but these things have to start at the bottom, right? So you have to, quite literally have to start with clubs and start slowly to change the culture and the incentive structure around how club soccer works in our country. You have to educate the parents, so parents understand that their child doesn't need to win a game at 8 years old, that the child needs to be developing and having fun. And right now our parents, unfortunately, get obsessed with the winning just as much as the coaches do because they've been told that's what's going to get their kid to college and professional. And it's all BS. So you have to change the culture. You have to change people's perception of all of these things. And I think the best way to do that is to just start building clubs or having clubs come forward that understand that will put people in place that can implement that, have coaches that understand in the right way, and you start to see change.
Se viene la ceremonia.
Might you start?
That's a big undertaking, but we're going to get it right.
Se viene la ceremonia de la revelación de la estatua de Kobe Jones. ¿Qué pasa por tu mente cuando otro jugador leyenda del Galaxy es reconocido?
Ya, en mi opinión, bueno, no, fue la primera leyenda que es muy merecido y estoy bien contento.
Landon, hot take or maybe not?
Hot take.
What CONCACAF nation will go the furthest or is looking stronger in the World Cup?
That's a good question. I actually think if we get it right and based on our group, that we have the best chance, because I think we have the best chance to finish first in our group. I think Canada's a very good team, but they have a more difficult group. Mexico, I think, will also finish first in their group, but I think we have a good chance to go deep because of that.
Landon, with
Yes.
with so many tickets still left to be sold for the USA's opener against Paraguay,
Is
what's
that
your
true?
opinion? As of last time I checked, yesterday, there was still quite a few tickets, around $2,000. What's your opinion on the state of the ticket prices for the World Cup? Do you think it makes it inaccessible for the common fan?
I don't like it as a consumer. By the way, I'm not getting any free tickets, so my family's going to the first game, and I'm going to have to figure out a way either to pay for tickets or hope that somehow something opens up. But I also believe in free markets and how markets work. And by the way, if they're not selling, my guess is the prices will drop at some point. I don't think anybody wants non-sold out stadiums. So that's the way free markets work. That's just my personal opinion. And again, as a consumer, I don't like it either, but this is the biggest sporting event in the history of the planet. So, you know, my wife wanted to take my daughter to a Taylor Swift concert in Switzerland when I was in Germany 2 years ago, and she was like, the tickets are $3,000 a piece. We're not doing it, plus the flights, plus, she's like, we're just not going to do it. But they sold out because everyone wants to see Taylor Swift, and so that is, you know, that's an unfortunate part of life. But if you're going to watch the U.S. play in a home World Cup in 2026. It's probably going to be expensive. Like, that is just part of it. It sucks for those of us who want to go, but it's just the way it is.
Guys, we're
Lando,
only going to take two
volviendo,
more questions.
ya,
you
Lando,
guys.
volviendo a lo de tu libro, ¿cuál fue la parte más difícil o más dolorosa de escribir?
No fue difícil escribir. La parte más difícil fue dar el libro a mi papá antes de que salió el libro, para que él pueda leer, y porque muchas partes del libro no fue bueno para mi papá, pues eso fue lo más difícil.
Landon, sobre el muñequito, que es la razón por la cual estás aquí. ¿Te gustó? Hablé con los aficionados afuera y la mayoría decían que te recordaban con mucho cariño. ¿Qué significa para ti eso, que Galaxy haya tenido este detalle?
Increíble. Toda la semana fue increíble para mí. Empezó con un evento jueves. Tenemos un evento anoche en Manhattan Beach con alguna gente también. Hoy estaba firmando libros para mucha gente también. Había una semana increíble para mí y estoy muy agradecido por lo que ha hecho Tom y el Galaxy esta semana. Es increíble para mí y también para Mike McGee. Omar está aquí, muy importante para nosotros.
Thank you all so much. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Landon.
Guys.